Let me turn now to Leonard Joy, who I think is going to talk a little bit about global management systems. He comes to us from Sussex and has had a good deal of experience working around the world with many international institutions. Right?
Greetings, everyone. I'm going to address two issues that are evoked by the right relationship body. One is the simple inadequacy of our global management of our response to the global situation. And the second is deeply related, which is the values which imbue that system. But we've just been reminded, and very appropriately reminded, that governance occurs at all levels, from global to national to corporate and to personal, and that those values need to shift at all levels and to be imbued with the spirit of what we've been reminded before and this morning, of understanding who it is that is my neighbor. So first to the global policy management system. And what I'm going to talk about as I think the next step in creating a global policy management system is not by any means the ideal that we should be aiming at ultimately, but a step towards that ideal. The global policy management system is needed at global and national levels particularly, but what is implied is that there are agencies, we're talking about global agencies, UN system agencies, who have and accept responsibilities which are accepted for them for playing their part in responding to the condition of the earth. There need to be responsibilities clearly for monitoring that state, for sending back signals of our sensitivity to that state, for response to those who have particular assigned responsibilities. So we want to have agencies prepared to respond to signals that are coming to them with authority and resources for doing what they need to do. It's a signals response system. It should ultimately be a fully networked system of interrelated responses. What we have at the moment is nothing of that sort. What we have at the moment is 20 specialized agencies in the UN system, 15 organizations and programs, several regional and other commissions, and many other entities that do not constitute a management system or a strategic vision, and it's certainly not a network of collaborative entities. Yet all of them have potential roles in such a system. In principle, there are two loci, if you like, for the coordination of UN system agencies. One is the Economic and Social Council, interacting with governing bodies of these organizations of the system. And there is the National United Nations system of chief executive boards for coordination, what used to be called the Administrative Coordinating Committee of the United Nations system. But the key words here are interacting and coordination. The agencies may indeed interact, but the problem there is that they tread on one another's toes. So the solution to that is to coordinate them and define the territories between the agencies. That does not constitute a strategic approach to the role of each of the individual agencies. At the global level, the different functions we require are primarily there. We have the International Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC, and there are many other such entities which are monitoring various aspects of the global condition, both environmentally and socially. Without question, these existing agencies and capacities may need strengthening. What's critically missing, however, is the linking of these elements into a global management system. The book points out, very pertinently, that the IPCC, and I quote, has not been linked to a reliable mechanism for building enforceable international rules that will respond to the information it is producing. And it's true of all the myriad agencies. We have WHO, and the alphabet soup, FAO, ILO, UNICEF, UNDP, the Office of the High Commissioner of Human Rights, the IMF, the World Bank, and not to mention the Global Environmental Facility and the United Nations Environmental Programme. And these will all be faced with challenges that they will be responding to as global warming proceeds. But there is no overall comprehensive view of where each of these fits and how they should be responding to the information coming to them. So we have ECOSOC will make recommendations for action, and the CEB will attempt to avoid duplication of effort. This will not amount to the development of an agreed strategy. Nor will there be accountability, and nor will there be such policy management systems anyway at country level. At the national level, we do not have such effective coordination and overall strategic view. This is coming in several countries, but overall there are many countries that just do not have this capacity. And sadly, the Global Environmental Facility, which might be geared to assisting poor countries in this respect, is not focusing on these things. It's focusing on the development of technologies. Missing at all these levels is any focus of, and I would say authority at this stage, to oversee the system and to provide for learning and accountability. Changing the situation at the global level depends on the responsive engagement, not only of the agencies, but especially of national governments. All agencies and governments will need to forego a measure of sovereignty. And this is the big issue. This is the issue faced in the CEB, the Administrative Coordinating Committee. Even if we had such a system, we need to have a reason to believe that engagement will be more responsive than the record would now allow us to believe. Responsiveness is not uncommonly constrained by political contestation. The key to this is to understand why agencies and governments might continue to fail to behave collaboratively and to make and adhere to necessary agreements. We see a terrible history of failing to agree to the treaties that countries have signed on to. When we look at whaling quotas, certainly human rights conventions, that's agreed conventions, national contributions, making national contributions to the UN system. How do we address this?